Hello, how's everybody doing?
It just got tricky quickly, no, I'm not ashamed to say I did you wrong and I didn't play the game. And it's been a while since you said my name. It's just the little things I'm noticing a change. But if I'm wrong, don't take my word, like I'm just saying. Cold game, we was in it to all day.
First things first, I have my robe on because I'm cold. Second thing is second, if you hear noise in the back, it's because I'm doing laundry. If you also hear a noise, it might be the train. If you also hear another noise, it might be the air. So just might be a lot of commotion. Anyways, today we're doing a Q&A. Woohoo! You guys have a lot of questions about me, and I'm gonna answer some questions that nobody currently asked me, but asked me a while ago. So you guys kind of get a better feel of who I am and what is going on. So I'm gonna read the questions off my iPad and then I'll insert them somewhere as well so you guys can read them as I answer them. So let's get started. I'm gonna start with a quick intro. I go by Jam. That's what everybody calls me. That's what they've been calling me since like the 5th grade. That came from a friend of my mom's who just, I guess, couldn't say my name, and so he used to call me Jammy Jam. And if you're a real OG and you knew me at that time, shout out to you. I used to be Jammy Jam everywhere. That was my username. Like, that was it. I was her. She was me. We were us. And then I think maybe like last year, I was like, you know what? Like, when I reach the level of up there that I want to be in life, I don't want to be known as Jammy Jam forever. Let's scratch the Jammy. Let's just make it Jam. Jam comes from Jamelin. And my name is Spanish. My name is Jamelin Eni Plaza Aguayo. I'll write that on the screen as well so you guys can see that. Name starts with a Y, but in Spanish, you know, Y can make a J sound. So Jamelin, Jamelin, Jam. Root word, Jam. Last name Plaza. Don't go by my second last name. Don't really ever go by my middle name because people like to say it wrong. Let's get that out the way. Next question that I get often is, when's my birthday? I was born on September 15th. I am a Virgo, a September Virgo, the best Virgos. I'm 5'2". I think I've been 5'2" since I was in the 6th grade. I have not grown anymore. I'm not growing anymore. That's just life. But you know, if I put my hand above my head, it at least adds, I think I want to say like, that's a solid like foot. So really I'm 6'2", really. So hey, short girl, tall girls, arms up, arms down. It's just the best of both worlds. What can I say? I was born in Rio Piedras, Puerto Rico. Grew up in Carolina, I moved to Tampa, Florida. Actually, I grew up in Temple Terrace. Let's get that out the way too. I say Tampa because if I say Temple Terrace, not a lot of people are gonna know, but I did grow up in Temple Terrace for 18 years, and then I moved over to Riverview. But I've always been in Tampa my entire life. Back and forth from Puerto Rico, here and then. Spanish was my first language. Both sides of my family are Puerto Rican, making me full Boricua. That's also something fun to know. For anyone who's wondering, I went to elementary school, Folsom Elementary. Go Falcons, love that school. I was there from kindergarten to 3rd grade. We were just getting sent home a lot of like child predator, like paper, be on the lookout, wanted type of deals like every single day to bring home to my parents. And my mom was like, you know what, maybe we should take you out. So then 4th grade, all the way to 8th grade, I went to a K-8 school, Rampello. If you went to Rampello, I love you guys so much, home of the Pirates. And then for high school, I went to Thomas Jefferson High School. Go Dragons. So finished my education. I did college classes in high school, got my associate's degree at Hillsborough Community College. I got my associate's in psychology. I did graduate high school early as well. Senior year was just not a year for me to mentally be in school, so I finished up my year of English 4 in a month online. Every day after school I was working hard, and I said, you know what, it's time for me to leave. Walked with my class of 2020, and now we're going on to 2023. I did apply to go to college, a few of them, got into all of them, but I decided not to go. A couple of months down the road, I applied again to some other colleges, got accepted, decided not to go. College was not for me, and college is not for everyone, and that is okay. I think people think that you have to go to college to get a good degree to get a good job, but really people are in college and don't know what they want to do. People get out of college and definitely don't know what they want to do. So I was like, you know what, let's steer clear of the student debt path and let me just figure it out on my own. So very first question is, why didn't Teddy move with you? So for those of you who don't know, I have a puppers named Teddy. I love him so much. I have a tattoo of him right here, a T with the paw. I love him so much. He is like the light of my life, the only boy I will ever need. Like, he is amazing. He did not come with me to Atlanta For those of you that don't know, I moved out to Atlanta in October. It's been about a month here. He didn't come with me just because I don't think my mom really wanted him with me here. I think she was like, you know what, you can kind of barely take care of yourself. Why don't you figure that out first before you bring a pet along, which I completely agree. I'm always working, and if I'm just not home, and this is just a new place for him. He is 6, which is crazy to say. I got him back in 2016. He's about to be 7 in June, my little Gemini, and I just feel like it wasn't the smartest idea. Like, not that I wouldn't take care of him and I wouldn't walk him and I wouldn't shower him with the love that I always do, but I just think my mom is a better caretaker, and I mean, she made me, and I'm awesome. So like, my dog is awesome. So I just think it was just best for everyone to just kind of leave him at home, let him do his thing. And he's been adjusting really well. I send him pictures and videos every day. He's doing really good. I think he's at the groomers right now. I just don't think a pet for me right now would be very smart. Next question, I actually get this one a lot. It is, what happened to you and your ex, and where's Teddy? I just told you where Teddy was. He's at home. As for my ex and I, life happened. You kind of grow out of people and you realize that you want different things, and I knew I wanted more for myself, and I knew that I wanted to just be alone. I think that was my biggest thing. It was time for me to be by myself. I hadn't been alone in like 6 years, because prior to that 4-year relationship, I was like in a year relationship, and that was just like too much time to be with somebody else and not enough time to be alone. So I've been single for almost a year. Oh, so happy to say that. It's been the best year of my entire life. People grow apart, things happen, trust is broken, and it's just not, once all these things start to unravel, it's just time to go. So I freed myself out the trenches, and here I am, doing great and thriving. My next question is, how do you cope with ending things with a significant other but not on bad terms? I think that's on a case-by-case basis. I don't really know if my last relationship ended on good terms or not, because that was a decision that I kind of made for myself. I don't think it was an agreement that we kind of came to. But if you feel like you gave 110% and you did everything that you could possibly do, and you said everything that you had to say, whether it ended on good terms or not, that doesn't fall back on you. Like, you're still a good person at the end of the day. So whether it's on bad terms or not, you just kind of have to live with it, honestly. I don't think that every single relationship, connection, friendship, just anything, everything has to end on a good term. As long as you feel like you made the best decision for yourself and you put your best foot forward and you communicated your feelings to the other party, I don't think it has to end on good terms. I mean, that person can hate you forever. And if that's the case, then that's fine. And you leave them alone and let them be and go on about your life, and you knew that there was nothing else you could do. So it doesn't always have to end on good terms. I think that's something that people tell you, like, always end on good terms, because you never know what's gonna happen. I feel like as long as you say what was on your mind and how you were feeling, and there was nothing else you could do on your part, then you just have to kind of be okay with the consequences, good or bad, and move on. Next question is, what is my shoe size? So I'm like a 4, size 4 in like men's, if you will, that's like youth. And then in women, I'm like a 6. It really does depend on the shoe, but like between a 4 and a 5, grade school is my shoe size, and then in women is like a 6. My next question is, how are you and Angie so sure on packing up and starting new in a different state? I don't think we were really that sure, if I'm being honest with you. Is anyone ever sure picking up their entire life and moving out of state to a state that they've never been to, with people that they don't know, in a place that they've never been? I don't think anybody's ever like sure and ready for that. But taking a leap of faith and just trusting God that that's the decision for you, honestly, is like just putting your trust. And I think kind of knowing that home will always be there and our parents will always welcome us back, and at least you can say you had that experience, I think is really important. I don't think anybody's ever sure to move out of their parents' house and go start life on their own somewhere else. I don't think you're ever sure. I just think you just have to grow some balls and kind of do it. Next question is, are you guys gonna give us an apartment tour? So I didn't say this in my first video because we were still in the process of getting things done, but we are currently staying in an Airbnb. So if you wondered why our entire place was furnished the second we were here, it was because we got an Airbnb from October to December, just because we were not sure, again, if we were going to love it or hate it, and I didn't want to be stuck in like a 17-month lease in a state that I've never been to, and it's just, I'm miserable, and so that's not something I wanted to do. So Angie and I decided the best route to go was, let's get an Airbnb from October to December, let's move all the way out there, let's have the full experience, and then like a month or two in, if we realize like this is what we want and this is actually the life we want to live for now, we can go apartment hunting and actually do it here in person as opposed to doing it from Florida, and we can get to know the areas a little bit more. And we did get approved for our apartment. We actually got the keys to the apartment yesterday. So I think once we move in and once everything is settled down and we are finally in there, I will show you guys what it is empty. And then once it's fully furnished, I will show you guys what it is fully furnished. So I'll make an updated version. So a tour will be coming soon. I would just give it maybe a month and a half, maybe. Next question is, what type of car do you have? So for those of you who didn't know me before August, I used to drive a 2009 Toyota Camry. He was blue, his name was Blue, BLU, not BLUE, just BLU, like the bird from Rio. He was that was my man. I loved him, and he was just there. He was a fishbowl, and he did have a lot of maintenance issues going on as the years passed, but like so does any older car. But I felt like I was putting more money into Blue to get him fixed than I was getting out of him to just drive me around. Then when I decided to make my move up here to Atlanta, I was like, if I'm going to drive my car and I'm going to be driving it every day for work and stuff, I'm gonna need a reliable car. So your girl got a Honda Civic. His name is Hatch Attack. He is a hatchie. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better car. Touchscreen on the, amazing. I love him. I love him so much. Hatch Attack, I love you. And Blue, I hope you're doing well wherever you are. Next question, I actually get a lot. I got it more when I was at home because I had it at home, but where did I get my wall mirrors from? That was like the biggest question I would get all over my TikTok and stuff. I wanted a really big mirror in my room because I just had a blank wall. Mirrors cost like a couple $100, especially the sizes I was looking at, and I just didn't want to spend couple hundred somethings on a mirror on the wall. So went to Lowe's, and you just Google square mirror tiles, and then I got 36 of them, so it's a 6x6. I try to measure them as perfectly as possible, and I literally just put like command strips, like 2 strips in the middle, and I just went ahead and set it up myself, and it made this big mirror. Next question, I guess I didn't address this when I told you guys when my birthday was. How old are you? 21 years old, legal to drink, woohoo! And 22 next year, yay! Next question is, what is your greatest accomplishment this year and your biggest goal for next year? Before my move, I would say my biggest accomplishment was graduating high school early. I know that's so weird to say, but I literally had to do an entire year, like what would take you 12 months of English. I did it in 1 month, like 1 month online. I think that's pretty spectacular. And my guidance counselor was like, there's just no way that you can finish that. Like, that, you sound crazy. And I was like, you know what? Since you told me I couldn't, now I have to. And like, I'm one of those people. Like, tell me I can so I can show you I can. So I definitely think that moving out of my mom's house was just like the biggest thing for me, because it was also something I wanted to do for like last 2 years, but I never did it. It was just something I talked about and maybe like looked around for, but I never was serious about it. So I think actually getting serious and actually like putting my plan into action was like huge for me. I also think a big accomplishment for me this year was getting out of my relationship. I really feel like I thought about it for a while, but I never was able to act on it because, you know, like the what ifs, and I'm so comfortable and I don't want to leave and all this stuff. But being able to just do it and stand by my decision, I think was really big for me. I think I was really proud of myself. I didn't think I'd ever do that. As for my biggest goal for next year, I think is really just taking off with my acting. I think that would be the best thing for me. That and just kind of like keeping a routine. I love to work out, and I love to journal. I love to read. I love to go on hikes. Just really just tuning into the things that I love. I think really just the acting, like doing my classes, going to the workshops, submitting my auditions on time, and just doing everything I need to do in order to become a better actress, and just being like a sponge and being able to soak up just all the information and all of the learning that I can, so that I can take off and do what I'd like to do. I'd also like to take my social media just more seriously and just be more consistent. I think consistency is the hardest thing you can do with social media, and I think that's where people get stuck, especially when you have like bad days or hard days or sick days, like all these days where you just don't want to do anything. It's still important to post and get it out there, especially when you're getting paid to do it, and especially if it's something that you do love to do. So I think just being consistent all around would be my biggest goal for next year, and really just holding myself accountable and just being more self-disciplined, and maybe trying to get on time to places. I'm really bad at being on time, and it's never like 30 minutes late. It's always like 5. Like I really could have made it, and that's me every single day. So I think just doing all of those things would just really make my year next year. Next question is, how is it living in a different city with Angie? Honestly, living in a different city I thought would be the hardest thing ever because I've never been to Atlanta, but the fact that I have Angie makes things 10 times easier. If we want to try something new, we can try it together. Like, it's a new experience for the both of us. Like, we've had a lot of firsts here together, which I think is really important. We got our first apartment together, we're gonna move in soon, and I think that having her just makes things easier. Her and I live like 5 minutes from each other at home, and we still keep the same routine. You know, now we work together, we're coworkers, we go to the gym together, we live together, like roommates, besties, coworkers, the whole shebang. She just makes it a lot easier. We talk every single day, we have great communication. I'm always in her room telling her something. Like, everything is great. I wouldn't have wanted to move out with anybody else. I'm super grateful for her, super grateful that she decided to come with me. I mean, she could have just been like, I'm so good, I'm gonna stay at home. But you know, I wouldn't have made the move without her, so it makes it a lot easier. And trying new things, I feel much more comfortable, even if I'm nervous or have a lot of anxiety. Because I do going to new places, it does scare me a little bit because it's like, we've never been here and we don't know what to expect, but having her makes things just better. She makes life better. Next question, great question. How's your mental health lately? Honestly, I've been great. I honestly can't complain. A job interview tonight for a second job. The job is great. I love it. I love my coworkers. I love where I work. I get off early. I get paid every week. I get to wear a t-shirt and jeans to work with my Crocs. Like, it doesn't get any better where I work right now. I live with my best friend, even better. I've been getting a ton of auditions, which is great. And I live in a new city and I'm moving into a new apartment. Like, things are really looking up for me. I think it really just depends on your outlook on life. I think everybody has a lot of great things going on, but it's so easy to focus on the negative. I could really complain about all these things, but there's just so much to be grateful for. Mental health has just been great with it. I think just taking negatives and turning them into a positive, or taking negative situations and finding the positive in them, is really something that I've been working on and I've been doing really well. I've been journaling like almost every day. So just being able to be more expressive and be more communicative about my feelings and just the way I look at life and doing things that I love and surrounding myself by people that support me and care about me. Honestly, my mental health couldn't be any better right now. It's great, I can't complain. My next question is, what is my goal and focus right now, and where do I see myself in 2 years? I would hope that in 2 years I have done something related to acting, whether it's like a show or a commercial, something that you see me on the TV screen. I think maybe like a relationship with money would be better, and I think that's definitely where I want to see myself in 2 years, but definitely is a focus of mine now, so that 2 years from now I'm set to go. Just focusing on just like me and kind of like what I want to do and things that I want to try. I want to learn how to juggle. I think that would be really cool. I think that's like on my bucket list, to learn how to juggle. I would love to do that right now. Just seeing more places here in the city. I will say there's a lot to do here, so I definitely want to find out and see what else I like. I dabble into some new things. So next question is, would you ever try a long distance relationship? Honestly, I would. I feel like those are like the hardest relationships ever, because obviously you can't be all up under somebody, but I think it makes the time that you spend together just much more special. But I feel like if you can find a partner that has good communication, which I'm really big on because I'm a great communicator, I feel like it should be good. I would definitely try it personally, because I think now that I'm in my own place, in my own space, I don't really want someone under me all the time. Like, it's fun as a visit for a few weeks or whatever, but like 24/7, just him and I just don't think that's something I would even want right now. But I maybe cry myself to sleep sometime because I miss him. Yes, absolutely. But that all comes with it, and it's supposed to be hard. You know, distance is not easy for anybody. Nobody likes to be distanced from the person that they love. But I think it makes your relationship stronger. I think it builds, you know, a lot of trust. I think it shows you a lot of things, whether it works or it doesn't. And your time together is much more special and it's much more valuable. Less time on your phones, more time together, looking at each other, listening to each other, all that stuff. So I would definitely try it. I think it would be an experience. I would definitely try it and I would do it. So yeah. Someone asked me, what is my thoughts on a teenage pregnancy? Honestly, you get pregnant when you get pregnant. If you're a teen and you have a baby and you love your baby, or that's the decision you feel like you need to make, then make it. Or if you're pregnant and you feel like that's a decision that is not for you right now, then don't do it. Nobody should be voicing their opinions on something you decide to do with your body. Whether it was planned, whether it was not planned, your body, your decision. Keep the baby, don't keep the baby. They're not taking care of it. They're not paying your bills. They're not paying the hospital bills. They're not doing any of that. Honestly, like, as long as you are happy at the end of the day and people who really love you and support you, that is the only decision that matters. And I will stand on that forever. It doesn't matter. Had I gotten pregnant at 17, whatever I decided to do in that moment, it wouldn't have mattered to me what anybody else thought. I mean, you do you. And I mean, Teen Mom is an amazing show. So I don't really care what anybody else has to say. Someone asked me, what is my take on a threesome? I know, we're getting kind of spicy. Do you? If you feel like you need a third person to spice up your world, then go for it. I mean, it's not me personally, but there are some people that dig that. And if you dig it, then you better dig that hole so deep in the ground that, you know, you feel great afterwards. I mean, nobody should, who cares? Do your thing. Go crazy, go stupid. I'm all for it. I have 2 questions I'm gonna kind of answer in one. How do I like Atlanta so far? And what are some fun things to do in Atlanta? Because somebody just moved out of their boring city. How do I like Atlanta so far? Honestly, if I didn't like it, I would have moved back home by now. I wouldn't have gotten an apartment. I think it's great here. I think the weather is different from home, a lot cooler. The humidity isn't as bad, which is great. The weather, the trees, the colors, we don't have that back at home. The hikes, the parks, all the things to do. All the people are so nice too, not to mention. Honestly, I love it. Give it a 10 out of 10. I think when you grow up somewhere for a long period of time, your view on that might differ because you've been there forever and that's all you know and you're kind of tired of it. Me being somebody that's new here, I think it's great. I don't see any cons here. Maybe the traffic and like the 10 lanes, but other than that, everything else is great. Yeah, everything has been swell. As for fun things to do, there are a lot of parks here. It really just depends on what it is you like to do. I will say the nightlife scene is not as big as it is back home, but the brunch scene is huge here and I love that. Like if you look up brunches in Atlanta, I mean, there's like, you go to a different brunch spot every single day for out of the year and you would be at a different one every single time. And I love that. I mean, I love to eat. Big foodie. Definitely a lot of parks, a lot of places to eat. Definitely a lot of bars, a lot of lounges. They're more loungy than they are clubby. A lot of museum, historical, or just like botanical gardens. There's a lot of things to do, honestly. I haven't gotten to see it all, so I'm excited like this next year to be able to experience all of it, but there's a ton of stuff. I promise if you Google it, you will not be failed. Or if you go on TikTok, we do that sometimes. There's a lot of cool spots that you can check out just depending on like what your vibe is and what it is that you're into, but yeah. And my last question is really funny. I actually got this question twice from 2 different people, and it's, would I ever go to North Carolina? I would love to go to North Carolina. I would love to go to any of the Carolinas. I'd actually love to go anywhere in the world. Their beaches are gorgeous. So I would definitely make a trip. When? Don't know. But would definitely like to see it. I think North Carolina might be like 3 hours away from me right now, so that's not bad of a drive. So I would definitely go, even if it's for like a day trip or like a weekend trip. Definitely would love to check it out and see what it has. If you live in North Carolina and you want to make a friend for the weekend, your girl's right here. All right, that's it for today's video. If you guys think of any other questions, you guys can comment them down below, or you guys can DM me or just think about them and never ask me. It's up to you. I do have a few videos that I already filmed that I'm going to be editing soon, so they'll be up within these next few days. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I hope to be posting maybe like once a week, maybe twice a week if I want to get crazy. We'll see, maybe not. I love you guys. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and don't drink and drive, ever.